All right, let's get right into it. Today we're breaking down what it takes to be an effective youth volleyball coach. So whether this is your very first season or you've been doing this for years and just want a fresh take, this guide is all about giving you the core principles for a season that's not just successful, but really truly impactful. And honestly, this is the perfect place to start. Coaching is so much more than just X's and O's. It's about mentorship. This quote really hits the nail on the head. Your job goes way beyond the court. You're not just teaching them how to pass a ball, you're helping them build life skills. And that is the real victory. So let's think of the court as our classroom for a second. Before we can even start talking about complex strategies or building character, we've got to make sure everyone's speaking the same language. That means getting a handle on the basic rules, the layout of the court, and yeah, even a little bit of the game's history. This is the bedrock for everything else we're going to build. And the game has come a long, long way since it was invented back in 1895. But for the way we play today, the single biggest shakeup happened in 1998. The introduction of rally scoring. I'm telling you, that one rule change completely flipped the script on the pace, the strategy, and just the sheer excitement of volleyball. So, what is rally scoring? It's pretty simple. A point gets scored on every serve. The old side-out scoring is long gone. Now, here's the key takeaway for you as a coach. This makes every single play intense. There are no mental breaks. It's a fantastic tool for teaching resilience because your players have to be locked in and ready to go all the time. Okay, this is our canvas. The sidelines and end lines, they just defined our playing area. Easy enough. But the most strategic line on the whole court is that attack line, the one that's 3 meters off the net. It separates the front row from the back row, and it dictates who can attack and from where. And of course, the service area. That's where every point is born. These aren't just lines on a floor, they're the rules of engagement. All right, so we've got the rules, we know the layout. Now it's time to actually build the athlete. We're shifting gears from the what of the game to the how, the absolute fundamental skills that every single player needs in their toolkit. The best way to think about a volleyball rally is as a 4-step sequence. Serve, pass, set, attack. The serve kicks it all off. It's the only moment in the game where a player has 100% total control. Then comes the pass, the first touch, which is the foundation of your whole offense. A good pass changes everything. The set, that's the decision, the orchestration. And the attack? Well, that's the punctuation mark. That sequence is the heartbeat of the game. Now, in attack, a spike is so much more than just hitting the ball hard. The best attackers, they're strategists. They have incredible shot selection, knowing exactly when to power through a block versus when to use a soft tip into an open spot. They've got the body control to adjust mid-air and the accuracy to find the weaknesses in the defense. It's about being a smart hitter, not just a hard one. And on the other side of that powerful attack is the dig. But here's the thing. Great defense isn't just about quick reactions. It starts way before the ball is even hit. The best defenders anticipate. They read the header's shoulder, they get themselves in the right spot, and then they use amazing body control to absorb all that power and keep the ball and the rally alive. It's all about anticipate, react, control. Okay, so we've got the individual skills down, but volleyball's the ultimate team sport, right? It's just a fact. So how do we weave all these individual threads together to create one cohesive team? Well, it all starts with a simple number. 6. That's the magic number. 6 players on the court at any given time. And that number dictates everything else. The need for specialized positions, for synchronized movement, and for a system that lets everyone contribute from different parts of the floor. And that coordinated movement is all powered by one simple rule: clockwise rotation. Every single time your team wins the serve back from the other guys, your players rotate one spot. This system is brilliant because it ensures everyone gets a chance to play every position, from serving in the back right to hitting up at the net. It's the engine that keeps the whole team in sync. Now, within that rotation, players start to specialize. Your setter, that's the quarterback. They run the offense, touching almost every second ball and deciding who gets to hit. The outside hitter is usually your go-to attacker, a reliable point scorer on the left side. And the libero, you can't miss them. They're in the different colored jersey. That's your defensive specialist, a rock-solid foundation for your passing and defense. So, we've covered the court, the skills, the team structure, but now we're going to pivot to what I believe is the most important part of your job:
Because great coaching isn't really about plays. It's about building character. It's about developing young people who are mentally tough, resilient, and ready for success long after they've left your gym.
And that's the central question, isn't it? It's easy to see a bad pass or a great kill. We can coach that. But how do you coach a player's mindset? How do you build their confidence, their focus, their ability to bounce back from a mistake? This is where a coach makes their real impact.
It all starts with fostering a growth mindset. See, a player with a fixed mindset says, I'm just not a good server. A player with a growth mindset says, my serve needs work, so I'm going to put in the reps. Your job as their coach is to build that second response. You do that by praising effort, not just talent, by framing challenges as opportunities, and by teaching them that constructive criticism is a gift that helps them get better.
And here are the practical ways you build that resilience. You have to create an environment where it's safe to fail, where mistakes are just seen as information. You can teach them simple coping tools, like taking a deep breath or using positive self-talk when the pressure is on. Encourage them to think about what went well and what they can improve. But most of all, you have to lead by example. Your attitude on that sideline is absolutely contagious. Okay, we've talked about the physical skills and the mental game. Now, let's put it all together into a practical blueprint. This is your game plan for planning and running a successful season, from that very first tryout all the way to the final whistle. Everything kicks off at tryouts, and a great tryout looks for so much more than just who can hit the hardest. Of course, you're looking at skills, but just as important is potential. Is this athlete coachable? Do they have a great work ethic? And what about team dynamics? Are they a good communicator? Do they have a positive attitude? You're looking for the complete person, not just the skilled player. And once you have your team, your practices have to be balanced. Look, a huge chunk is going to be skill development, no doubt. But you can't neglect team strategy and, crucially, game-like drills that simulate real pressure. And please, whatever you do, do not skip that last piece: fun and team building. That's the glue. An exhausted, burnout team isn't going to win, no matter how skilled they are. And remember this, you are not in this alone. A great head coach knows how to delegate and build a team around the team. Lean on your assistant coaches, empower your team manager to handle the off-court stuff. If you have one, use a statistician to get objective data. Building your support system is just as important as building your starting lineup. Which brings us to this final thought. Banners in the gym and trophies on the shelf. They're great, but they collect dust. When the season is over, when your players have moved on, what are they going to remember? What lessons, what mindsets, what sense of confidence will they carry with them for the rest of their lives? That is your true legacy.